Somehow I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. You need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. Dang it. Okay, we're gonna have to take a risk here then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. Well, sorry, but that can't be right, because there's no color in the photo! That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... It's odd. Very odd.
Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's the cheers.
Cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Oh. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutia? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
I don't know! Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You know what? You're quite right. I'm going to demonstrate for the entire court how you can clink 1 glass and have it make a sound. And he just takes up a glass and just smashes it in Ryunosuke's face. There, you see? Ah! There's glass in my eyes! Alright, that makes sense to me. Guilty. Ah, what the fuck? I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious.
Gomen, sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please.
We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes! Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray?
That's absurd.
Oh, really? So, we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of... mischief?
What? What sort of mischief are you talking about? No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Well, wait a fucking second. Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by the well-to-do woman in England.
There, you see, there's nothing suspicious about that. A handbag can't be used to carry anything more than a simple glass. Oh no!
The beautiful lady has graciously
Explain how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. But in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Yes, you've wasted enough time. You're guilty. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know, really. This matter further. Sorry, your murder trial is really boring me. You're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's...
The handbag.
Nothing in particular. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the corp that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Like a gun.
Let me see here now. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated that the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that, too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga! Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? I did not. No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun. The one that was actually used to kill the professor. Could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. Order, order, order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, prosecutor? Prosecution. Ha ha ha, so silly. I'm being a silly boo today in court. Boo 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 boo. The meaning of what, prosecutor? Sir. God, I still couldn't say it right.
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? I want to know what your deal is. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what regard? To thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. Witnesses are not allowed to submit evidence. This is a photograph. Look at this photograph. What am I looking at here?
Her
The handbag is see-through? This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag and a hand with a mark on the wrist. That won't be significant at all. Well, I never. You're gonna see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. That's very odd. What if you need to put, like, some tampons in there? You don't want to be flaunting that around.
They don't have tampons in this era. They just have bloody rags.
Oh, dear lord.
It's even worse.
That's even worse.
Yep. And
So
it's
contents-
not like little rags. These were huge.
Exactly, so there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious, unless it was covered by a mirror. Ah. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here.
What about in your fucking hat?
Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruto-san. Bleh. Order, order! Inspector Hasanagi, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Okay. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. Okay, I don't think there's anything there. I think it's gotta be the hand, if it's gonna come up again. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed. And there's only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
I'm dead. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it?
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. In fact, you can shoot on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Wait, what time is it?
Oh, it's been...
Yes!
It won't let me open up the door. Alright, let's see how far back it goes. Nope. Not even close. Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Shut the fuck up! This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes, I know. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
What's that on his hand?
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag of the gentleman who was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence.
He's right! You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If I could only put my finger on it.
Let us put our fingers on it.
Let
We
us
know
put
where
our
it
fingers-
is.
I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Look at my giant fucking gorilla hands!
I was gonna say, fuck.
Yes, Your Excellency.
So take another look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded.
It's so obviously this thing, right? It can't be anything else? Alright.
Yes.
Whatever this thing is. Look at this. Here. There's a bull. It's Omaha beef. So he was actually American, even though hold on. Yeah, checking my court record. What year was Nebraska made a state?
The
Yes.
founding date of Nebraska was March 1st, 1867.
Yes, the victim was from Nebraska, a state that is totally real and exists in this time period.
That is true. Did you knew that off the top of your head? That's impressive. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
What? No, it doesn't.
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right.
Go on, Inspector.
The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark.
Do we have something? Hold on, let me look at... No.
The plate.
Oh. So...
He burnt himself on the plate.
What does that mean, though? So you actually was being a bad patient and he was eating the steak? But that doesn't do anything for... Oh, okay, we'll see where this goes.
Unless if he dropped it, he put his hand down.
We'll see.
However, as Prosecutor Awichi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn.
I've got your evidence right here. Gives him a middle finger. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady. Well, we shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then I'll be really taking a pounding. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. But I'm afraid I've only dug myself deeper into my own hole. This hole was made for me! I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I cannot allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture.
But if we had
But if we have evidence...
evidence that irrefutably linked the burn to the victim's wrist of the case, then you would allow it?
I would, yes.
To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. But I don't know what it could mean at this point. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what the burn really means.
So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. It's right here.
Yes!
Hi.
What's it? Counsel, yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further would really be quite inexcusable.
Except when she goes to jail.
Except when she goes to jail, yeah, that'd be quite inexcusable, actually. We may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett.
No.
Wait, you understood me?
No.
You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
So you can't just be bluffing, you have to know why. Not that it's hard, but I mean, just like...
For later ones, you gotta know why.
Probably, yeah.
The beefsteak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on.
The plate.
Oh!
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. We cannot prove that, though.
Yeah, but even if that is the case, we can't happen to...
I can't open a question on that.
It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happens at some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Oichi, the chances of that are incredibly... Oh, because the medical report would have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. You'll just put your hand on something hot for 3 seconds. You just 1, 2, 3.
I don't think it worked. You gotta do that again.
1, 2, 3.
2.5.
2.5.
2 3/4.
Pat, pat, pat. Go, go, go. You look very sexy. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes, he is! There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hasanaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor? I keep wanting to call him Professor. Prosecutor Aoichi.
Well, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream?
Because he was already dead.
No. No. No.
I mean, it's possible.
Like, we still haven't determined when the burn happened. It could have been after he died? And that wouldn't change anything. I don't know where this is going. I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... No, I don't. No thoughts. Brain empty. Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased? No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation.
Counsel, are you suggesting...
Yes, it's only possible. If the man was already dead.
She poisoned him.
Dead?
She poisoned his carbonated water.
No. She poisoned her water. That's why she took the glass with her. Because it was his glass.
Mm-hmm.
And then to cover it up...
She shot him.
She shot him. Because... What?
Because she knew that that kid was looking at the gun.
Because...
that was the plan to frame him?
Mm-hmm. His whole plan was to be framed.
Okay. All right. All right.
I think so.
Putting this together. Yeah, I think the poison thing is working. That's most likely thing. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. Like, they still don't disprove the idea that the burn could have been after he was shot, though. Oh.
He wouldn't have kept it on for 3 seconds. Unless if he was slumped over and he was facing the wrong way.
But the beef steak, like, the plate would have still been hot. He was shot in the front, wasn't he, then?
Mm-hmm.
So he was poisoned, slumped over in his seat, hand hit the plate, and then she propped him back up, but there was 3 seconds there where the burn happened.
Mm-hmm.
And
She probably grabbed his gun, threw it on the floor. Probably thinking that,
There's still another gun not accounted for, though.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is in her hat.
Or it wasn't even a gun that made the sound.
But there's a bullet wound.
And there is a bullet wound.
I think the gun is in her fucking hat. Why have a hat that ridiculous if we're not going to take it off?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I think we've got this whole case figured out now. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's... What the fuck?